Listen to me. Wake up. I want you to pause whatever you are doing right now and look at me, because we need to have a serious, raw, and completely honest conversation about your money, your legacy, and the people you love. You are either retired, or you are standing right on the doorstep of retirement. You have worked hard your entire life. You saved, you sacrificed, you forwent the things you wanted back then so that you could have security right now. You think you've done it all right. You have your investments, you have your home, and maybe you've even done the smart thing and put together your will or your revocable living trust. You think you are protected. You think your family is taken care of. But let me ask you a question that should make your stomach drop. Who is the person you have chosen to hand the keys of your entire life's work to when you are no longer here? Who is your executor? If you are like 90% of the people I talk to, you probably just defaulted. You said, "Oh, Susie, I'll just name my eldest child," or "I'll just name my brother because he's family." You treat naming an executor like it's an honor, a trophy, a gold star you hand out to show someone that you love them. Let me tell you something right now, naming the wrong executor is not a badge of honor. It is a curse. It is an absolute nightmare waiting to happen to the people you care about most. I hear the horror stories every single day. Families who used to sit around the Thanksgiving table laughing, who now don't speak to each other. Siblings suing siblings. Estates tied up in probate court for 2, 3, 4 years, draining thousands upon thousands of dollars in legal fees. Why? Not because there wasn't enough money. Not because the parents didn't love them. But because the person put in charge of executing the estate was completely, utterly wrong for the job. You are terrified of losing your money to taxes, or market crashes, or inflation. But you are ignoring the biggest threat of all, emotional and administrative chaos left behind by a bad choice. Being an executor is not a ceremonial role. It is a grueling, legally binding, time-consuming job. They have to deal with the courts, inventory every single thing you own, file final tax returns, pay off creditors, and handle family dynamics when grief is high and emotions are raw. So ask yourself, is the person you named actually capable of doing that? Or did you just pick them out of guilt? If you picked them out of guilt, you are committing a massive financial and emotional blunder. To fix this, you must look at 5 non-negotiable criteria to choose the right executor. No fluff, no sugarcoating. The first criterion is absolute organizational skills and competence. This is not about whether someone loves you. This is about whether they can handle a mountain of paperwork under strict court deadlines. When you pass away, your executor doesn't just hand out your jewelry and your bank accounts. They have to open a court case, notify creditors, track down titles, manage real estate, and deal with accounting. If the person you are thinking of naming can't even get their own taxes filed on time, if their own desk is a disaster area of unpaid bills and chaos, why on earth would you put them in charge of your entire life's legacy? You need someone who is meticulous, someone who answers emails, someone who respects deadlines. If they lack organizational skills, the estate will stall, errors will be made, and the court will penalize them, and that costs your heirs money. The second criterion is availability and proximity. Do not underestimate the sheer volume of time this job takes. It can take anywhere from 9 months to several years to fully settle an estate. If you name your daughter who lives across the country, has 3 young kids, and works a demanding 60-hour-a-week corporate job, you are not honoring her. You are burying her under a mountain of stress. She has to physically secure your property, meet with estate attorneys, clear out your house, and deal with local courts. Can she realistically do that from 3 states away? Distance and a lack of time create delays, and delays cost money. You need someone who has the actual bandwidth to show up and do the work. The third criterion is financial acumen. Your executor is legally a fiduciary. That means they are held to the highest standard of financial honesty and responsibility under the law. If they make a mistake, if they manage your funds poorly during the transition, or if they pay the wrong creditor first, they can be held personally liable. They don't need to be a CPA, but they must be comfortable with financial concepts. They need to know how to work with professionals, understand assets, and keep immaculate records. If someone is constantly in debt, makes terrible financial decisions in their own life, or panics at the sight of a balance sheet, they have no business managing your estate. The fourth criterion, and perhaps the most painful one to face, is the ability to handle conflict and remain impartial. Family dynamics change drastically when a patriarch or matriarch passes away. Grief does strange, terrible things to people. Old childhood rivalries resurface. If you have 3 children, and you name one of them as the sole executor, you have just created an immediate power imbalance. Now, what is your actionable takeaway right here, right now? I want you to pull out your estate planning documents before the sun goes down today. Look at the name written on that line for executor or successor trustee. Evaluate that person against these 5 criteria: organization, availability, financial acumen, conflict resolution, and longevity. If they do not get a perfect 5 out of 5, you need to change it. If you look at your family and realize nobody fits the bill, then you look into a professional, corporate executor or a trusted professional advisor. Yes, it costs money, but it is a fraction of what a family feud or a botched estate will cost you. Do not let guilt dictate your legacy. Be strong. Be smart. Protect what you have spent a lifetime building, and give your family the ultimate gift when you pass: peace of mind, clarity, and an estate that is handled with dignity and love. You can do this.